So it's no Cold War. It's not a hot war. But someone should tell the president. I understand diplomacy, part of diplomacy. Your actions really just should define how you feel. Now, what are his actions? He goes to the G20 and he's trying to lace up relations. Prior to that, with Australia, with South Korea and Japan, he heals those, brings them over to Camp David. He talks about an alliance to set up an alliance between India and the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. He talks about that. Then he says, you know what? I think it's time to drop all pretenses about the Vietnam War. We now have the highest level of communication and alliance with Vietnam, which kind of worries me because they are very tight with Russia. How do we know the things that we share with them they're not going to share with Russia, and we know about their human rights record? But I understand Vietnam is very concerned about China too. The question is, if you know that your enemy only respects strength, why show them subtlety? They are now doing military exercises 60 miles off the coast of Taiwan. They buzzed our planes. They've cut off our destroyers. They hacked our officials, including Raimondo, Congress Secretary Raimondo, and she still goes and visits them. And the reaction is, and their response is always, don't worry about it, not a hot war, we want them to do good. They got their challenges. Just confront them. Besides your actions, with your words.
They're positioning their country as a full-on opponent of the West. I mean, they're examples of that, of how they're developing alternative institutions that Beijing can control, that the West won't be able to control. They formed the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and that rivals Washington's World Bank. They promoted competing international forums like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Guess whose members are included in that? Russia and Iran.
Yeah, at this point, I'm really confused about what our policy is vis-a-vis China. You know, it used to be strategic ambiguity when it came to Taiwan. What is it now? I don't know. It's ambiguously unambiguous.
Well, the president says we're gonna fight to defend him, and his staff walk that back every
single time. And then he says we don't want to contain China. I wonder if you're in Beijing, does it create an opportunity in this confusion to do something about it? Well, there's somebody, one of the Republican candidates is speaking much more clearly about China. Nikki Haley was on CNN. Here's what she had to say.
China's been practically preparing for war with us for years. Yes, I view China as an enemy. How much more has to happen for Biden to realize you don't send cabinet members over to China to appease them? You start getting serious with China and say, we're not going to put up with it. They keep sending different cabinet officials over, and it's embarrassing.
It's not only that we just always want to talk, it's what we want to talk about. It's always climate change, something China doesn't care about at all. Multiple times it was brought up yesterday. Climate change. Do you think China gives one? No way.
Right, and the other thing, he says how great it is to sit around a table and all our nations talk about climate change. That's what he was lauding. That's the president's focus. That's what you're reelecting if you choose to reelect it. You are looking at the depletion of our strategic oil reserve, our lack of our own domestic production, more reliance on Russia and Saudi Arabia when it comes to oil and gas, and a pivot that we're not ready for, nor as innovation and science brought us there, to renewables as well as any type of green technology. We're rejecting the electric car.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is making news this morning because she was on with Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation, Meet the Press, Face the Nation. And she was asked several questions. She was asked about Biden's age. Are you prepared to be the president? Because
do you know how old the president is?
Yeah. She said, yes, I am, if necessary. But the president is going to be fine. Then also asked about how many weeks when it came to abortion. And she had her talking point ready. She said, put into law protections under Roe versus Wade. And Margaret pressed her again, and she said, put into law protections under Roe versus Wade.
So how many weeks?
And never answered the question.
Put into law.
They don't want to give the weeks. And then she was asked if she's taking President Trump seriously, if he could.
The threat of
President Trump seriously. Listen to this.
Are you taking the threat of a second Trump presidency seriously enough?
I don't understand the question.
You were dismissive of some of the Republican criticism of you and the president. When you look at current polling, the front runner for a Republican nomination is the former president, the 45th president.
We will win re-election.
We will
win re-election. There is too much at stake, and the American people know it.
That's good philosophy.
We will win.
You can read it one of two ways, right? It's like a quarterback at a pregame press conference saying, we got this,
Yeah.
you know, like confident about it. Or you can read it more ominously, the ways that others have spoken, which is, you know, there is too much at stake.
Die has been cast.
People know it. The die has been cast. We will win re-election. Too much is at stake. That's, I think, this creeping sense that so many Republicans have through these indictments and everything else is COVID 2.0, 3.0. What tricks will they pull out of their bag to make sure we save democracy?
When y'all watch the interview, what comes to mind? I mean, I noticed that she seemed a little bit calmer. She wasn't the cackling, the laughing. It just seemed like she was more just like milquetoast.
Here she is at a major conference where she mysteriously is asked the president didn't want to go at this summit, which is really important to Malaysia and Indonesia, nations that are really concerned about China's influence. And they want to know that America's got their back. The president says, I have an idea. Let's send my vice president. I'm a little busy. I've got to go to the beach, and then I got to come back from the beach and then go back to the beach again. So he's got to rest up for this trip, which brings up his age. But I don't think she is conversant and familiar with any issues. I think she is so scripted and rehearsed. And the fact is that you would walk into an interview like that and not have any answer from the collapse of our border. Margaret Brennan, to her immense credit, said, you know, the border's collapsed. You said you're going to go to, you said, to the origins of where the problem is. The root causes. And he goes, we've gotten, but you can't say it's gotten better. It has for a while. Not anymore. It's gone up again. Do you see yourself as somebody who's responsible for this? We're getting better. We're getting to the bottom of it. It's a global migration. This is just the last symptom of it.
Almost like she walked in with talking
points. But my goodness, if you want to be president of the United States, and you're in your 50s, and you want to reassure the people that the Democratic ticket does have a future, and you're it, those are not the answers you give. I'm miraculously let down by the promises I got from these other nations. And whatever your view is on the border, let's hear it. I can tell you exactly what Trump's view is on the border. Every Republican candidate's been to the border. I can tell you exactly what they would do and how they would do it. When you watch Trump put tariffs on Mexico, said, I'm going to do it unless you act. You see that he went down to every major Central American and South American country and said, you're losing your aid until further notice you control your population. You might not like that. A lot of people didn't like that. But you knew what the policy is and you knew what the goal was. Now, every major American city is overrun with their broken border and their ineptness. And she has no reaction.
Brian, you're assuming she has another gear, right? It's like me as a Vikings fan, assuming that Kirk Cousins has another gear. And then I watched game one yesterday,
right,
and we lost.
But when
so it's just you have these expectations, you build it up, like, oh, she's going to get better. No, that's just who she is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the answer to the question, Ainsley, I think, is that was she better? Yeah, she was calm. I'll give her that. She did not laugh.
She was calm. I just think she gets a little nervous. I think they give her talking points. That all of her answers sound like talking points to me. Like when they asked about the weeks, instead of addressing that issue, she goes a different direction and talks about Roe v. Wade and putting protections in order. And then Margaret asks her again, and she repeats the same answer.
If you get up in the morning and you're studying your threat assessment, you're doing the things you need to be done, you're briefed on a regular basis, 2.5 years in, this should be second nature. And then the debate would be about the quality of her programs and answers, not does she even know what she's talking about?
It might be because it's not hers to answer, but she's not the president. And maybe she doesn't want to step on the toes of the administration or what they have given her as talking points. It's not her own.
I don't know how.
Any of the above. Or you're just not good at your job.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.